Hey, what's up, guys? So this is trial one. I think this is week 6, and I'm going against SauceBox again. I can't remember how long ago we matched or even who won, but this is definitely a rematch. Here are SauceBox stats, and here are my stats. This is what I'm running on defense, and it's pretty standard for the most part. I don't think there's anything that would be surprising about what I have going on here. Mostly the only change would be that I have X23 in room 4 and Quicksilver in room 1. But I think for the most part I've run the vast majority of these teams before in somewhat these rooms. This is what my opponent has on defense. So at the moment, I'm thinking just to go with Master's Evil on 1. I'll probably do Cabal, and after chatting with Updog, I'll use Morgan with Zemo. Most likely New Warriors on 3. I'll probably do full Secret Defenders on 4, and just hope I can get through Peter, because he does have red gear. I'm going to try this Apoc Weaver Red Hulk Cable Emma counter. So I'm going to chat with some guys and make sure I have the steps down, and most likely just use Superior 6 Vulture on room 3. Before I get to that, I want to introduce you to a concept that I'm hoping some content creators and I can discuss, and it's basically on gamification. And it's a concept used in education that I think has been taking place in Marvel Strike Force. So what is gamification? And what you see highlighted here is the simple words: the process of adding games or game-like elements to something, such as a task, so as to encourage participation. And here's an example on how it's used on the larger scales. In-app rewards and loyalty programs, like those used by McDonald's, H&M, and more, are an example of gamification. They gamify the shopping experience by providing points for every purchase or setting achievements, which can be redeemed for real-life products. And so how does gamification work with Marvel Strike Force? There's a deeper discussion on that, but this definition here seems to be a glimpse into what's going on. So when we look at the goal of gamification and we think about Discord and we think about content creators, we're looking at the partnerships and how collaborative efforts, shared interests, and interaction is a way to grow the game. And so when we look at whether people think the game is dying, MSF sucks, or the game is in a great place, it's all interaction. And I think as we start moving forward, the focus of this part for me is, let's look at why we play the games. Let's look at why we play Marvel Strike Force. Let's look at why I play. Let's look at why you play. And I think that'll help with a lot of the things that come into the game, the FOMO, the pressure, and things of that nature that could be perceived as issues in the game. So we've seen Masters of Evil go into different type of extreme rogue teams. I figured this would just be a good way to go in and just try to get a good clean win, especially since there's no Nightcrawler in here. chatted with the Seer and Updog about this counter, and Updog suggested going with Morgan on this one. And so what I thought about is to try Morgan, and as you guys will see from the replays, it didn't work. So then I decided to go back in with the first thought, which was Lizard. And Desir suggested using Zemo's special as the first move. And you can see here things look like they're going to go well, but I'm wondering if the ult may have been better. Because at the end of the day, Old Man Logan gets turned up anyway, and perhaps the ult would have made a little bit of a difference. I'm not sure, but it's something to consider going forward. Overall, I don't know that Lizard or Morgan are the fists to use with this counter. So I saw on the counter sheet, it might have been Sasquatch or Frosty. One of them used the new Warriors against Out of Time when they were in 3. And for the most part, this counter looks very good and it should work. I think what happened is, as you guys will see down the line, my Gwen gets killed by the Black Knight. I think it was Black Knight, it was somebody. And so that kind of wrecked my chance for the Death Pool to go in with her ultimate and make sure that I could get rid of the Black Knight with one hit. And that changed the way this counter would play out. So this counter, I just totally didn't even check before I went in. Big mistake. And I went in with Vahl. And I should have went in with Doctor Strange. And as a result, the Doctor Strange special is a big part of how this counter will work. And because I didn't have it, it made this counter not work. So I decided to go with the Weaver Red Hulk combo here. We used Emma and Cabal. And that's a juicy counter, and it just seems like there's no RNG. The key thing is, where do you go with the opening move from Red Hulk? And so in a chat with Updog, he suggested Hidden Carnage. And I believe this is the best play when you have Void Knight on one end, Red Goblin in the middle, and Skrull on the other end. So in this particular case, Updog suggested Hidden Carnage, and so Carnage would be in between the Skrull and the Red Goblin. Now from here, I think what happens is when the Skrull is really built pretty big, you have a chance to stun him and then kill him. In cases where the Skrull isn't as big, then there's a choice to be made whether you would kill the Red Goblin or the Void Knight. My thought would be to kill the Red Goblin. Some do have the Void Knight, and that's mostly from playing it a couple times, and just like Red Goblin can bring back the wrong tune, and that's what you want to see happen. So Superior 6 Vulture seemed like the easiest way to go ahead and beat this team. The idea was to get the best efficiency. With the dropped attacks that I have, hopefully this still will help, but in most cases, if you can one-shot everything and then you go with this counter against an Eternals type comp, then you should not have any problems. And so here's the dropped attack I used with Cabal, Zemo, and Morgan. And so I just want to include this so that we could just maybe look at it, analyze it, and just discuss what may have happened here that could have been a way to try to make this counter work, or if it just will not work. So the results are in. Let's take a look to see which one of my rooms held up. So this one, as expected, Pegasus with an average score on my Infinity Watch with Quicksilver. This score was slightly lower than average, but that's an idea here to use Dorm. He does have a 2 diamond leader and Namor and a 1 diamond Iron Patriot. So he has a very strong Cabal, but let's just take a look to see how this plays out. So that was a long battle. He was in control of it the whole time. This straight massive evil score is really, really high. So this defense did pretty well. Let's take a look to see how it goes against the Superior 6 with Vulture. And so room 5 with a pre-taunt did shake things up. Let's take a look to see how this plays out, because even on the second attempt, the turn bonus is really low. And so this last room performed really well. And I suppose it's just a combination of how his defense got stretched a bit in other rooms. But it is new warriors and lizards, so that's actually a plus for him that he was able to clear this. So that's it for this one, guys. Okay, guys, chat later.